Hello, and welcome to the Gaia update for the partial solar eclipse that's happening on Saturday, April 30th, 2022. I'm Adrienne Elise. This eclipse is the beginning of eclipse season, and it happens at a new moon in Taurus when the sun and the moon are together at 10.5 degrees, 10 degrees, 28 minutes of Taurus. Very powerful because this isn't very far away from Uranus in Taurus. And Uranus is the Awakener. It's the ruler of Aquarius, speaking to connecting to higher vibrational frequencies. And this awakening energy, this higher vibration, brings a disruptive energy to old patterns. It's an energy of connecting into our higher self, to our past self, future self, and a greater awareness of what's accessible to us as information. So this awakening energy and evolution energy and the Aquarian age energy and future technology is not too far away from the sun and the moon. So the sun and the moon is about an awakening into the Aquarian age and about what needs to happen in our psyche around wealth and worth in Taurus. So Taurus traditionally in astrology represents wealth, and we would think of that as money, resources, right? Really the true wealth as far as resources and physicality have to do with a home and food, but we're also looking at true wealth, which isn't represented in physical form, energetic wealth, like love and care and spiritual essence and spiritual experience that gives us a new form in this world. Everything right now for SuperNova Souls is about coming into the bigger truth of who we are. And in Taurus, with Uranus and Taurus, it's about embodying these higher frequency vibrations, literally changing the earth and our body into light. So this new moon is speaking to this. Now, eclipses are when the sun and the moon line up with the nodes of the moon. The nodes of the moon is where the orbit of the sun and the moon intercept. So that means they make a line. And that's what causes eclipses. So eclipses have an energy of lining up. It's like reconnecting the dots, getting your ducks in a row, a timeline alignment. Eclipses are also about something hidden being revealed and clarity. So, of course, during eclipse season, it's very unclear, though. It's kind of like a very, very strange time outside of time. But we can use this to direct and reset our course in a more appropriate direction. And this is what 2022 has been all about. Starting out this year with that Venus retrograde. Who are you and what do you want in the Aquarian age? And coming into those conjunctions with Mars and Mercury and Pluto, our personal planets, our personal life, getting a complete overhaul because we haven't been living true to who we really are. This is all you know. It's like you go and it's like, okay, I think I want this in my life and I'm going to make a plan and how do I get there and what do I do? And, we're at this place of like, all the best laid plans can do nothing if we're not connected to who we really are. And all we know is that we're not connected or that we haven't been. For SuperNova Souls, everything that you've experienced or the pain that you experience in life typically goes back to one reason, which is this energy of not being true to who you are and not expressing who you are here. So SuperNova Souls, you can come and complete your karma in Earth, but you're never going to be fully done or satisfied or complete until you come into your full expression. So we've got everything asking us to come into this, and yet it's this unknown. We don't know who we are in our bigger self, and we're being asked to let go of everything that we thought we were, that we're not. And it's a very intense energy of letting go, ego, death, dissolution, and especially with these last few days of this Pisces explosion, with the moon spun in Pisces, and with Venus, Mars, Neptune, and Jupiter all in Pisces. And wow, do we have a Pisces massive bloom because Venus is coming up to Neptune tomorrow, exact on the 28th, and then will come up to an exact with Jupiter on the 30th, and that's the day of this solar eclipse. So really, really powerful energies with the sun and the moon coming together in Taurus. And this is a brand new start in our identity and our emotional reflection of our identity around wealth and worth. So that coupled with Venus coming up with Neptune and Jupiter, the dream, the spiritual connection, the source. But Venus, our personal planet, what we love, what we care about, what we really like, what makes us feel good, it's bringing this spiritual revolution, revival energy of energies out there available to us in this Piscean energy, a connection, a feeling of mystical connection, but bringing that right into our heart. So cosmic heart activation. And the heart for Supernova Souls has been so shut down with suppressed emotions and shame, a deep hidden shame. And this is on the table because the eclipse season, the nodes are getting triggered. And of course, the North Node is in Taurus. And the North Node is how are we going to get to where we're going? And that's, we've got to reevaluate everything, revalue everything, and change our whole relationship to form. And then Scorpio is about, like, if you're really going to live and access true power, then we have to be willing to look underneath the veil, to look in the deepest subconscious places, to find that suppression that's been blocking our heart and our heart consciousness. Supernova Souls are so sensitive, and in order to survive, we've had to just shut it down. Plus, you feel all the energies of other people and emotions, and so the way our mechanism to protect ourselves has been to shut down our heart. But then we don't have any, we can't even let in the positive love and connection. So Venus coming together with Neptune and then Jupiter is linking these planets back together. They were in conjunction. They've separated out of their conjunction, but Venus is like leapfrogging these energies back together and in our personal way. So this is an invitation to step into this energy of the garden of our spiritual dreams and visions and hope and love and embody in our heart. And we have to open our heart if we're going to move into this next place. This cosmic heart chakra is a connection to the cosmos, a feeling of being at one with source, that there's this beautiful energy that is the source of all that's created, and you are also created, and you're this energy too. And very, very powerful energy invitation to come back into spiritual connection in a way we haven't felt in life for lifetimes. Now that at the same time as this new moon in Taurus, now the sun and the moon and Mercury and Uranus, not too far away, are also in a sextile relationship to Mars and Pisces. So, wow, huge bloom, right? Because we've got Venus, Jupiter, Venus, Neptune, and then Venus, Jupiter exact on this new moon. And then the new moon energies, the sun, moon, Uranus, not too far. And what's linking them together is the sextile with Mars and Pisces. So huge bloom of the Taurus energies and the Pisces energies. These are really important because the greater conjunction that happened between Saturn and Jupiter, this happens, a great conjunction happens every 20 years. A greater conjunction happens about every 200 years when these conjunctions change elements. So they were coming together in earth signs, and now they're moving into air signs. And they were in Capricorn and Aquarius in 2020 when they came together. So, or 2021. So, yeah, in 2020. So now these planets go on and through their cycle, and the conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn is always an opportunity for like a fresh new start in our consciousness and an opportunity to evolve spiritually. It's an invitation to an activation of our true spiritual essence as human beings. And so control energies have sought to block those energies at these times of conjunction. But the real magic happens about 2 to 3 years after that conjunction, when these planets come into sextile. And so that is going to happen in 2023, 2024. And it is going to be between Saturn in Pisces and Jupiter in Taurus. So this Pisces Taurus energy is super, super important for us right now, and absolutely blooming in this new moon and eclipse season. So it's like, this is what we need to get into alignment with. This is the wealth revolution, which is that we're finally going to validate and acknowledge the invisible wealth. In order to acknowledge the invisible wealth, the energetic wealth, the spiritual wealth, we've got to also acknowledge the invisible enemy that's been working against this spiritual wealth throughout this evolution. This enemy lives in our psyche, in our consciousness, wherever we bought into programming and have gone along with it. So that's the power of this South Node activation with this eclipse season, is to uncover those deepest mysteries of where we've been suppressed, where we've been hiding in shame. You know, it's not until you move into your higher faculties and intuitive power that we're being asked to do right now. It's just happening to us organically, but it's not until you begin to move in that direction that you'll find the authority contracts and fear programming that have been keeping us from taking this leap. And we've been dancing at the edge of this for a long time, thousands of years. It's about time for us to claim this evolution and get on with it, huh? Now that's the message of Mars. Mars in Pisces is right there in the same degrees as this new moon, and with Uranus in Taurus, and so creating that sextile. And Mars in Pisces wants to take action on spiritual awareness and spiritual service. Like, come on, all right, now I can sense that energy. I can feel what it is we're doing here. Let's move with it. Let's act with it. Now, this is in a sextile relationship with the sun and the moon and Uranus. And so Uranus, that awakener, is awakening our identity, awakening our reflection of that identity with our emotions. And then sextile to Mars, it says, let's move on it. Let's move on the spiritual wealth. Let's claim it. Let's do something with it. Then with Venus, Jupiter, this invitation to step beyond the veil and embody the energy of the garden and the dream. Hugely activating energies. And so this partial solar eclipse happening Saturday, April 30th, it happens at 2:41 p.m. in Mountain Time in the U.S. I hope you can make the Soul Group Session. That's going to be just a couple of hours before, at noon Mountain Time on Saturday, the 30th. And the information for that to sign up will be in the information box below. A soul group session, is a group intuitive session where supernovas, we get together and we bring our energy together and find shared past life pictures and energies that can help us get the clearing, the healing, the information, break contracts, soul retrieval, timeline alignment, soul group work. So that's all available to us in these soul group sessions. A very exciting time to come together and grow the supernova energy and field. When you're working with the supernova field and you have a shift, you're offering that energy and that clarity to the whole group. It's really quite amazing what we're doing. And again, it comes back to this whole thing of like, well, it's energetic and it's invisible and it's happening outside of this realm, so it must not have any worth or be real. We're making it real. We are building a new world by coming back into our higher faculty abilities, to being that, saying yes. We already said yes because that's how we got to this incarnation, but to this evolutionary this being a piece of the puzzle in this evolutionary experience of showing to humanity the human potential, And as advanced souls, we have access to this. We've already said yes. We've already gone through so much to prepare ourselves for this. the last leap has to do with whether or not we feel we deserve it. So this is really powerful energy because we've got all this Taurus self-worth and shame coming up, and but then this invitation into the dream. And is that the only thing that's keeping humanity from making a leap into higher consciousness, into this next level of experience? This programming that says that we're just useless feeders and we don't, we're just taking up space. It's like, no, we're created by source and as source and consciously aware of ourselves as source. So powerful. And so we are examining this through this eclipse season. That what if the only thing that's really keeping us from making these leaps in our life personally, and this embodiment of this new energy, and our higher faculties coming back into our higher intuitive awareness as supernova souls, our God-given right. We've already experienced these things: light body activation, kundalini awakening. But what's really keeping us from grabbing a hold in this co-creation and creating this world has to do with programmed shame that says that maybe we somehow failed, like the Atlantean time in the fall, and we don't deserve it. We're not good enough. You have to do something to make up for something for somebody else before you can have it. Supernova souls, when they feel worthy and step in and claim this beautiful light of truth, of source, of who they are, it's game over for the dark side, for the cabal. And we're just teetering on that edge right now. And it's like, whoa, this astrology is just so exactly on point. And so it's a powerful invitation into the power of who we are and facing everywhere that's an argument to that. Because when you really look at that program shame around our power and who we are as souls, and the fact that as advanced souls coming in, supernova souls coming into this world, that means you had a purified astral body. Purified astral body means you were pure and innocent and a full initiate. But it also means you took on an imprint of this world very deliberately, almost, as that sacrifice, martyr, Piscean age story, coming in to save humanity. And we all had to do it. We all had to drop down deep into the depths. That's just kind of the deal. But we didn't come to go there. We came to visit there and come back here, come back into the light, come back into the potential of Earth evolution. But it's all hinges, all the forces that have held back really hinges on, especially for advanced souls, this whole concept that we don't deserve or aren't good enough or can't handle our own power. And here we are. Now Uranus is activating this. Uranus is like, it's like vibrational frequency. And with the sun, it's like there's no getting away from who you are as a higher being. This is also a lot of the problem in your life. Trace all those feelings and it's going to come back to that whole energy of denying who you really are, to make peace with everybody around you. And it's no longer working, is it? And yet when we claim this peace, this potential, this dream that Venus, Neptune, Jupiter are asking us to claim, then nothing can touch you. It's like there's no argument to it. It's so pure. It's so good. It's so true. And so it just takes you beyond the riffraff of the day-to-day navigation and negotiation of whether it's okay with the people around you for you to be in your full essence and shine your light. And Uranus coming to the sun is like chalking us into the truth of who we are. And in Sextile to Mars and Pisces, how about we start having every action and every choice in alignment with that? With the garden, just continually checking back in with source and our highest self, and identifying there and researching there, and disidentifying with the outside world right now. So very incredibly powerful. Now, so that after the partial solar eclipse, that new moon on Saturday, and then that's going to move us into this next chapter where we have, for the next week, Sun, Uranus, and then in sextile to Mars and Pisces, saying, there's no denying who you are, no hiding it. What are we going to do with it? And what does it mean to take action that's in alignment with Source? And an invitation into this co-creation of like feeling it out. Putting our ego identity construct, getting rid of it completely, or in the back seat, right? Knowing that it doesn't really know what's going on. And we don't either, but we've chosen to be there at the cutting edge. The cutting edge, you can't see what's around the corner. The cutting edge, you don't know why you're on your path. The cutting edge, you can't see where it came from even. It's too far away. And so it's this feeling of being suspended in between. And we've been here for so long, I know. But right now, go ahead and take that walk through the garden. Let the goddess pull you through the veil to rest in her arms and reset your whole vibrational frequency to this heart-centered consciousness, to love and hope and peace. And let your body unwind and unravel as this awakening process, because I see this Uranus sun coming at the time with all this other astrology. It's like cracking open that seed pod. Once the seed pod's open, you can't kind of put it back together. You got to commit to blooming, So here we are. And so big shift though, next week when Venus moves over into Aries. That's very triumphant because it's coming to the end degrees of Pisces. So along with this dream and this vision and this garden energy, there's also the deepest, darkest secrets that we've been avoiding. And so that's going to be a really interesting energy, because as Venus comes up with Pluto, they will make a sextile. Pluto will be in a sextile relationship with Jupiter, and Pluto will be sextile. That actually starts tomorrow. We'll be feeling that. And it's exact on the day of, again, on the day of this new moon, partial solar eclipse on the 30th. Now, so wow. Okay, so it's not just Venus and Jupiter inviting us into the garden, into the nitty gritty, into the end degrees of Pisces, into the deepest, darkest catacombs of where that precious, beautiful, innocent goddess part of ourselves, the child, is still stuck. But sextile Pluto, and Pluto is this very powerful energy of fear of our own power and the authority constructs that have kept us in fear of our own power, and in Capricorn. So this sextile, creative solutions around expanding into our spiritual truth and claiming back peace and love and harmony in the garden, and being willing to look at everything that doesn't fit that and get it the heck out of our psyche. In sextile to Pluto, it's saying that the solution comes from breaking our authority contracts, like wherever we've allowed outside sources to stake a claim on our energy. So this was awakening to who we are spiritually. It's an invitation to claim and own that energy. And in that, we also claim the higher frequency vibrations and the peace and presence that is our birthright by being in this world. So contractual arrangements, Pluto at 28 degrees, turning retrograde on the day of this solar eclipse, in sextile to Venus and Jupiter. So Venus and Jupiter, an invitation to the spiritual energies and back into who we really are and living that cosmic heart consciousness. And sextile Pluto says, gotta jimmy the luck. You gotta stop giving your power away. You gotta not go along with their program and paradigm. Don't let them gaslight you away from this joy, and claim back your power from everywhere that you've given it away. So really, really powerful energies. Venus will be in exact sextile to Pluto on the 1st of May, on Sunday, that day after that eclipse. So we're breaking free. And that's really powerful for Venus to come up to that sextile after the Venus, Pluto, Mars, Mercury conjunction that happened there at the end of February, early March. So this is the next step in the process. And Venus and Jupiter's saying, claim it, girl. Expand into it. You know who you are. Stop living those old stories. And so the combination of these things. Now, isn't it interesting that that sextile with Pluto happens as Pluto is at its furthest it's going to make it this year at 28 degrees. Next year, beginning to move into Aquarius. So it's as far as Pluto can go around releasing the authority contracts and Venus, Jupiter, claiming it. And then boom, Jupiter has to, or, Pluto takes that retrograde, say, wait a minute, we got to get this figured out. We're not quite ready. We didn't quite release all of these. It's so important, these end degrees of Pluto, of Capricorn with Pluto for moving into the Aquarian age, because such a powerful message has come that in order to move into the Aquarian age, like, we cannot be willing to give our power away or our autonomy away. If we as humanity consents to be ruled by an outside source, we can't go to the Aquarian age. It's all about our sovereignty and autonomy. That's just the definition. So pretty interesting that the dance at the end degrees for Pluto for the next couple of years at the end degrees of Capricorn. And everywhere that we've agreed to, give over our power, because we can't do that. We can't go over to the Aquarian age in this new earth paradigm in pieces. We've got to put ourselves back together. And that could be a very powerful energy coming forward, soul retrieval in this Eclipse Soul Group Session. So that is going to be, again, at noon on the 30th. And it would be, I hope that you can join us or catch the replay if it doesn't work in your time zone. Know that the replay is available immediately after the event at the same link. So you can just go access it whenever you can. The other shift we're feeling, like with Pluto turning retrograde, going like, we've got to get this autonomy, authority thing figured out. Right? We're heading already into another Mercury retrograde. I know it feels like we've just barely recovered from the last Mercury retrograde, but here we go. And pretty powerful that it's happening during eclipse season. So Mercury is in Taurus right now and is just crossed over the north node of the moon. And that's pretty powerful. And so it just crossed over. So in the next couple of days, it comes to 26 degrees Taurus. And that is where it goes into retrograde shadow. So we're in Mercury retrograde shadow. So it's kind of like, wait a minute. And it's really interesting with us Pisces bloom too, because it's like, I thought I knew where I was going, what I was doing. I thought I maybe finally had a plan and direction. And now I'm totally lost again. That's okay. You're doing it right. And so Mercury moves over into Gemini and then takes a retrograde on May 10th at 4 degrees Gemini. So it's interesting because Mercury rules Gemini and it's like coming home in Gemini and it's about an expression. Gemini is communication and Mercury is the mind and communication and perspective and awareness. And it's like, nope. So it's like rethinking that. And so we're looking at the cusp between from Taurus and Gemini. Taurus, our self-worth and our value, and then our ability to speak and express. And so Mercury is saying the whole Aquarian age shift we're in right now, we have to be able to express our truth and our wealth and worth. Right? So this is all about this. And it's taking the whole game to another level because we have been content to be silenced to avoid violence. And that's okay. We're nonviolent. We're sensitive souls. we're getting to a point where the control energies are losing their hold, and there's too many people that are awake and aware. And once the voice of these people gets out to the world, everything is going to change. So there's this expression of truth. And it's interesting that Mercury just goes 4 degrees and says, nope, got to go back. So Mercury takes a retrograde on May 10th, and then will turn direct, goes back into Taurus, and will turn direct on the 6th of June. The 3rd of June. So, and it won't come out of retrograde shadow until June 18th when it comes back into Gemini. And so that's when a lot of things are going to be wanting to be expressed inside of us, all that's been brewing. And good energy for that. So June is going to be a very interesting month with Mercury turning direct. And this is how it fits into eclipse season. We've got this this first partial solar eclipse, that's a new moon, on April 30th in Taurus. Then on Monday, May 16th, there is a total lunar eclipse. This is going to be the big energy of eclipse season because it's total, meaning it's closer to the nodes, closer lining up. And that happens on Monday, May 16th. And that will be the Scorpio full moon. And then there's another partial solar eclipse completing the energy of Gemini on the Gemini new moon on Monday, May 30th. So that's powerful. We've got the Gemini new moon partial solar eclipse, and then just a few days after, we'll have Mercury turning direct. So we're going to be, eclipse seasons are lining up. It's about things being hidden, things being revealed. It's about confusing outside of time. And so this happening at the same time as Mercury retrograde means, we got to hole up. We got to retreat. We got to figure out, we got to recapitulate. We got to go within. We got to fully commit to embodiment of the garden and the new earth we're here to create in order to move forward. And that means we need to know we deserve it. We need to know we deserve to feel better and claim that. Because it all comes down to joy. And Venus, Neptune, Venus, Jupiter is inviting us into deep and profound spiritual joy. But in order to go there, you got to find what's been suppressed and hidden that's kept you from the depth of experience that you've been avoiding in order to just make it through, So a lot of rearranging on deep, profound psychic levels, and not a time to really make huge moves in the world unless it's absolutely in alignment with your the spiritual warrior in you, Mars and Pisces. So use that as your guide. Otherwise, sit tight and allow yourself to knowing the universe is rearranging. Eclipse season, Mercury retrograde, you might be a different person come to mid-June. So just roll with it and be present with the process as much as possible. Now with Uranus so involved, though, we can have a lot of insights, downloads, and clarity and synchronicities and opportunities come. So that's going to be the main energy of that is the first week of May. And that will be before we get into that Mercury retrograde. So it's kind of like you may be able to get some really great clarity that can set your course, or get clarity around what the next couple of months is going to be about in this eclipse season and Mercury retrograde, so you can make the most of it. Very powerful times we live in. When we come out of all this in July and August, Uranus will be catching up to the north node of the moon, and that's going to be a powerful reset. So it's like we're going through this eclipse season. We're still in the timeline reset. It's been jump started, but we're still trying to claim our place in that energy. And then this summer is going to be really when we can make that leap and absolutely align with our action, with our community, with our where we live, with our job, work, family. It's like that's a massive rearranging towards our true spiritual identity, right? A life in alignment. And everything has been about this for this whole year. So with that comes together energies. All this astrology is conjunction this year, meaning it's time to come together, work together. You know, when we're together, we can do anything. But supernova souls have been conditioned to stay apart, right? So if you're a threat or a danger, you're powerful, you know, and you've had to hide to stay safe, two more of you is way more powerful and way more dangerous. And, you know, then the stories of where you feel like maybe you got your whole tribe targeted. And so you said, I'm never going to do that again. But we have to overcome all of those stories and come back together. So here we are clearing our own fear of our power and our potential. And that seems to be the place we're at, paving the way to get together in person and begin working together on the projects we came here to do. Very exciting. It feels so good. It looks so good. And it's yours if you can allow yourself to know you deserve it and receive. So these are our challenges. So I hope to see you at that partial eclipse, partial solar eclipse Supernova Soul Group Session, group intuitive session, Saturday, April 30th at noon. Hope to see you there on the next update. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.